Welcome back to AM Northwest. There has been a lot of buzz in social media lately about the power of introverts. But what if you're not quite an introvert and not quite an extrovert? Our next guest is here to tell us. We welcome back the author of Human Lie Detection and Body Language 101, Vanessa Van Edwards. Always good to see you. This is an interesting topic, I think, because Dave Anderson, for instance, says that he is not an extrovert, which you would believe. He's a comedian, that he would be an extrovert. But it's situational. I know it's situational for me, too, because most people consider me to be an extrovert, but it depends on the situation. So you say there's something in between.
Yes. So, we always heard, are you an introvert or are you an extrovert? The problem is most people fall in the middle because extroversion is actually a spectrum. And in the middle, there's this thing called an ambivert. And an ambivert is someone who, depending on the situation, the context, and the people they're around, can exhibit the qualities of an extrovert or an introvert. So I actually have a little self-quiz you can take.
Okay.
So ambiverts typically will say yes to these three questions. Are you ready? Do you crave alone time, but also love people?
Yeah.
Do certain situations...
Then when I'm alone, I watch my murder, kill shows. Love that.
A little creepy, but you love it.
Love it, yeah. Okay.
Do certain situations make you feel outgoing, while others make you feel quiet and reserved?
Yes.
And do you struggle with the labels introvert or extrovert?
Yeah.
Okay, so most people are ambiverts, and the most important thing to know is if you're an ambivert is to optimize your personality, to identify the situations, the places that are nourishing and the places that are toxic. I call this survive versus thrive. For example, for me, really loud nightclubs, rooftop bars, I get so uncomfortable because I feel like I can't talk to people.
Right.
I become this really awkward, stiff person. So for me, that is a survive situation.
Right.
I'm like, can I go home yet? Is it polite? Can I go home? Whereas other situations like learning environments or classrooms, I'm like, yeah, extroversion. Do you have places where you survive or thrive?
Oh, completely. Well, like the studio, thrive. Thrive. Some days it's survive. Some days. Mostly it's thrive.
Yeah.
But then it depends on if there's a person maybe I'm a little nervous about. Let's say there's a big star that's going to be on. I might tend to be more introverted.
Exactly. So that brings me to the next point, which is that certain people can bring out our extroverted qualities, make us really outgoing. Around certain friends, we laugh, we're sharing jokes. We don't really care about looking silly.
Right.
Whereas other people, especially people who are critical, they tend to bring out our introverted qualities.
Oh, yeah.
So if we feel like we're being judged or someone's going to criticize us in some way, we will shut down.
Right.
We're like, I don't want to push any boundaries. So there are certain people who can bring out the worst in us. So what I also want you to think about is, who are the people in your life who make you feel like your best self? When you're around them, you're like, yes, I love being around this person.
Sure.
And then who are the people who make you feel a little bit more shut down? And why that's important is something that I call time blocking. So there's certain people we just can't avoid. Right? If there's family members.
Right. Or work.
Or colleagues, bosses.
Right.
So what's important is that if you know that there are certain people who you're not quite your best self, you want to block your calendar out. And the way that you do this is you know when you're going to see them, and you put recharge time before and after. So, for example, there's someone in my family, I won't name who can push some of my buttons sometimes.
Okay.
So whenever I know that we have lunch or coffee...
Have you talked to your mother-in-law about it? No, I'm just teasing you. Okay. I have no clue who it is. Okay.
So what I do is I'll schedule out time before or after to sort of make sure I can recharge. So I always, afterwards, will go for a run or a hike.
Oh, okay.
Just to sort of shake it off. Or beforehand, I see people who really, I feel care about me to vent with them about what's going to happen. That really helps you mentally prepare for that person that you're going to see so that you're like, okay, I can recharge and reset.
Right. You mentioned places, and I was actually thinking of when I've had to do junkets in Hollywood or L.A., I feel completely uncomfortable, and I think they do something there that I've termed scan and dismiss.
The scan and dismiss? Show me. What's the scan and dismiss?
Well, in seconds, you're walking down a hallway lobby or on the street of L.A., and everyone's beautiful there. They're all beautiful and wealthy, you think. They scan you, and I think they're assessing whether, are you somebody? Do you have enough money? Or
are you worthy?
Are you worthy? And they scan you, and they dismiss you, and they just look away. And it takes only seconds, and I was thinking, they just scanned and dismissed me.
The scan and dismiss.
They scan and dismiss me, and so I keep on going. You're not young enough, pretty enough, wealthy enough, whatever the story is.
Enough. And so that is the perfect example of something that can switch you. You can be in the best mood in the world, right? You're walking down the hallway, and you're like, yes. And someone scans and dismisses you.
And then all of a sudden, you feel like nothing.
And you're like, introvert, right? So what's really important is to know what can recharge you in the moment. So maybe that's pulling up emails from family and friends. Maybe that's calling a friend and being like, oh, I just got scanned and dismissed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a playlist that gets you really pumped up. So you are in control of your personality. We can't change our personality. They've said that about 70% of our personality is genetic. But we can optimize our personality.
Yeah.
So knowing what we can do in the moment to get us back into extroversion, or at least back to feel our best selves, if you're naturally an introvert and you like to be more quiet and reserved, what can you do to switch you back into that?
So as you probably spend your alone time or being around friends that make you feel good. I was going to say it would be a perfect example for holidays when people are worried about going to a holiday party where they may know no one and feel introverted. That could be the solution.
Absolutely. Around holidays, if you're around family members or going to parties where you might see people from your past that you're like, oh, I'm not so sure about, be sure to block your calendar. Have reset time. Have friends on call that you can vent to them. That way you feel like your ambiversion works for you. And they have actually shown that ambiverts in business environments do the best. That they make 24% more in income than introverts and 32% more in income than extroverts. So being in the middle works for us, right? Because we can switch, we can flip what skills we need depending on the situation. So the more that we can optimize that, the better we feel and the better we do.
Vanessa, great stuff. Thank you very much. Again, it is Human Lie Detection and Body Language 101. Vanessa Van Edwards. Good to see you.